Mwah. Check. We need a couple of minutes before we go live. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. 1 2 1 2 microphone check.
Check.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the. Actually, it's a special and new layer of the Funky Marketing podcast when I will be joined by my second hand. Is that how we call it? Ivan Dimitrievich, aka Toci, who will host this part of the Funky Marketing podcast with me. I called it Funky Marketing Show, where we'll be discussing different topics like some insights from the industry or some stats or something that we are doing, or we will even call out people. Like, we're not afraid to do that. So, Toci, maybe you can say a few words. People know you on LinkedIn, like as somebody who is always there with text posts, with um, calling out bullshit basically on a daily level. So now they have a chance to connect the text with a video, with a voice, and everything.
Hello, people, and I really hope you read my posts, and I don't know, this is like a good opportunity for me just to show you, hey, more or less, I'm really laid back and relaxed guy, so don't worry, feel free to comment anytime. I'm not that harsh as it looks like.
Yeah, we were talking about it a lot because when somebody is reading your posts, they're like, okay, this guy will kill me if I don't do what he's saying. And I
I
mean,
understand. I mean, the problem is I'm a little bit old, and I don't know. I really don't love to lose too much time for explaining things. So my personal style is like straight to the point. Just say it and don't overthink it, as our I don't know company motto. And when you mix that, probably I sound a little bit rough at sometimes, but believe me, I'm really relaxed guy. So stop by and give some opinion, give some feedback. I love to engage. I love to discuss things, to share some further insights. So don't worry, I'm okay.
yeah, maybe you can give us a little overview of kind of with your background. I think that can be a good thing, and that's an interesting topic.
Yeah, it can be like really interesting. I agree with you completely. So, for start, I don't know. I was like chess professional at my early ages. I was like, well, from my point of view, like really good. I was like state under 16 runner up, and I don't know. I had like multiple first places in lower categories, like under 10, under 12, and I don't know. I stopped playing when I was in my 20s, and I decided I want to go with my academic career. So. I don't know. It was like tough decision in that moment, but I didn't want to have it like completely to be like the main part of my life. And I love to do things or don't. So for me, like there is no middle ground. So I decided to stop playing completely professional chess. But I don't know. Probably my mindset is still around there. Some basic strategies, approach. It's a little bit different. So I really trying to incorporate everything I learned in my what I learned in my younger ages to my business approach. So for me, it's a win-win situation. And I don't know. After that, I studied economics, but somehow I was always around the internet business, stuff like that. So I end up in social media, writing content, again, content, and I was blogging on some Serbian blogging platforms. I made my own. I was like from the beginning shape. I was like big deal on MySpace. I'm that old. Can you imagine that? So I had like few big accounts on MySpace with more about 70, 75K friends, to be precise. So audience building, content creation, blogging, article writing was like my primary field of expertise. And after that, I start, I don't know, learning like everything I could find about search engine optimization. And I work for one big Australian company in that time. And I don't know, I worked with some like really, really big clients like Virgin Australia, PayPal Australia, stuff like that. And I don't know, content starts beginning like more and more important, and I recognize that trend, and I make my own content writing team at the beginning with only few writers, but that scale up like really, really quick. So I'd end up in 2000, from 2012 2014, I hire more than 15 writers and 2 editors, 2 3 managers, and I start working as a content marketing agency. And I don't know, at some point it was like more and more focused on content, and it was good, and I tried to scale up further. So I moved up in Spain, in Barcelona, to expand my business even further, and I opened like new company in Barcelona and tried like to incorporate everything in some like bigger media group. And I don't know, I even made the additional side hustle in Barcelona with some apartment renting and everything. And as maybe some of you read from my posts, maybe you don't, things are starting go like really, really bad at some point. And I don't know, after a few successful years, I had to came back to Serbia. So everything was falling apart. My side hustle was gone because Catalan people had some like, I don't know, citizen disobedience protests about independence and everything. So tourists simply stopped coming by to Barcelona in that moment of time, and I had like really big expenses. And in the meantime, guys I left in Serbia to run my content agency decided to go on their own. And probably the biggest issue was like my divorce there. So in in just few weeks, I literally lost everything I care about, and I came back in Serbia in 2017, and I was like really, really puzzled what to do next. And I don't know, I waited like the perfect opportunity. I wasn't so sure what I want to do next, but I was sure I will a little bit go out from writing content for the others and everything. And I spent my time learning everything I could learn about. And that someday last year, I just surfed through my LinkedIn and everything, ready for my next big opportunity. And I saw some interesting posts about how to make your own content marketing machine by this guy here. And I put like really interesting cover letter to him. Hey, you know what? I'm planning to move to Belgrade in maybe 1 2 months. And if you are expanding your team or something like that, hey, let's talk. And we start talking, and I don't know, the rest is history. We are here together, ready to do something really, really big. More or less, that's it. And more interesting fact, two of us are born the same day, and we didn't realize that. I don't know, maybe 2 3 months later, after we start doing business together. And if that's not a sign, I really don't know what can be.
Yeah, it's interesting, but thanks for sharing all the details,
Yeah,
because like a lot of people don't want to share those kind of informations, not only about successes but also about
I know.
failures. And yeah, I think it's an interesting road to go through. I think one thing that we can also talk about is you were active on LinkedIn way before, when
Yeah,
like
that's true.
article were a thing, when groups were a thing. We're all souls on LinkedIn. So maybe you can just talk a little bit about how did you grow the number of followers to like how many do you have? 66,000 at the moment?
Now I'm at 66, but I was around 75. But I delete many of them because they weren't so active. Because as you said, I built that number from, I don't know, period was like around 2012, 2014, and I don't know. I recognize the opportunity. I recognize that LinkedIn will be huge, especially in B2B space. So I decided to prepare an article almost per day. So in probably 1 year, I published more than 200, 250 articles in for LinkedIn Pulse in that moment. And I don't know, probably 10 to 20 articles was were featured in their like official sections, and some of them went like completely viral. And it wasn't like one hit wonder. So I regularly have like featured articles in their sections, and I don't know, few of them was like with probably 100K, 200K views in maybe less than 48 hours. And can you imagine my surprise when I log in the morning and I see probably around 1,000 and 1,050, 1,500 connection requests. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? And at that moment, I literally accept almost everyone. And it was like really going fast. And I was around 75K in 2014, around 2014, 2015. And I don't know, as you said, like groups were like really big thing. Article writing, like reach was like almost as rich for the posts now, and posts wasn't like it wasn't like nothing at all. So people usually in that time write articles, and that was like the main activity. It was like still young and early LinkedIn, not defined like it's now.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, like, and the number of followers. Okay, it means something. It means that you did something, so a person will follow you for that to get more. But usually on LinkedIn, like the followers are the not quality audience. Those
That's
are not your target group, and they are not your target audience. When you go and check out the followers, those are not the people that you will connect. I mean, maybe 1 in 20 or even in 30, but
agree. They are not
and
your ideal customers. They are not industry related. It's just like pure vanity metrics, and maybe it can even hurt you in long term run, because LinkedIn algo will serve your post to small portion of your followers at like first hour of after you post something. And if they are not active, if they are not like completely relevant to your profile, your engagement rate will be lower. So it can significantly lower your reach, stuff like that. So like as for the other things, quantity is not so good. Quality will always win over quantity.
yeah, and one thing maybe it's good to mention is that your connections will, if you are following someone and you're connected with them, then you will most likely see the content. If you're just
That's
following
true.
them, it doesn't mean that you will see the content. That's how LinkedIn is working for some reason. I don't know, like we cannot explain everything, but we are seeing some things and like trying to share as much as possible so you can know those things as well.
No, we are testing things. So
Yeah, so let's move the story as we are into the content, and it's your field, your topic. Let's move it a little bit to to the companies we are working with. So it's mostly fast growing tech companies, SaaS companies, or mostly the companies that are building technology or selling technology. So let's talk about the content that they are providing. So usually when we come to when we start working with them, or even before when we analyze them, we see that I don't know how is the percentage. Maybe you know it, but a lot of them either have a content on their website which is written for the search engines, not for
That's true. That's
people, and it's never been shared, or they don't have a blog at all.
Can you imagine that like exact number is like 38% of software as a service companies doesn't have blog at all, and it's like completely mind-blowing fact for me when I found that statistics. And I don't know, we will talk more about that, how and why is content that important and why they are missing this like huge opportunity.
Why do you think that they don't have it? That they didn't invest in it?
Well, I don't know. Usually, these companies are like not. It's not like five guys companies. They are like bigger, and somehow probably they think it's not for them. They will have like some boring technical white papers or something that will describing their features, and usually. Really boring egocentric copies on their web pages is following uh, missing blog. So somehow they think it's not for them. They're like probably old school marketeers in their departments, and they think B2B should be boring and it's technical stuff, and they're somehow missing social component, and probably that's the main reason. And the second thing is uh, they're technical, so they love to measure things, and they're not sure how to measure the impact of having podcast, of having blog section, being active on social media, uh, working I don't know on different channels, brand awareness programs. So they cannot measure it, so probably it's not good for them. Wrong, like really wrong. And we are trying to, I don't know, we are trying on everyday basis to show people, hey, things can be done in completely different manner, in completely different way. We will share like some success client stories or stuff like that. So we are trying to change a little bit mm, things in B2B industry. And I don't know, it's hard at the beginning, but in the long term run, I'm pretty sure everyone will go there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely need education of their
Education,
audience.
education, education. Agree.
They're all going. I mean, the lead generation is the old game now, and
Yeah.
just getting users who are not actually ready to be users, or getting them into trials, is not a good thing, because what we are seeing when we analyze like the percentage of the people that are in used in trial, that are actually becoming users, is very low. When I say very low, it means like less than 5%, usually around 3%. And it's interesting. It shows that you don't have the right people on the website. You don't have the right people in your pipeline, and you don't create content for the right people.
That's true. That's true. And what do you think? Why they're like still obsessed with the lead generation? We see that with lead generation only. Don't get me wrong. Lead generation is okay, but if it's done right, uh,
Yeah, I mean, those are the things that can be measured, and in their opinion, a lot of
yeah,
companies don't get into how they can measure some things in a different way, because you can measure who's reading specific article, you can measure who's scrolling through, I don't know, two-thirds of a blog post. You can measure a lot of things, but somehow, like, having an email is a measurement of having a lead. Like, having an email just means that you have a contact, nothing else. It doesn't mean it's a lead. It doesn't mean somebody who is qualified for buying something. for buying your product or your service. It just means that you have a contact. And if you have like backstory of that lead or how did you acquire it, you actually need, you will see the quality of it, right? So did they came inbound by their own? Did they get educated? Did they interact with your company? Did they reach out to the customer success, customer support at one point? Like what was their buyer journey? When you analyze those things, you will actually see that those that are qualified to talk to sales that can actually become your customers, um, they have been interacting with your company for a while, or they had multiple checkpoints. It doesn't mean that it happened in the last week, in the last few days. It can be happening a lot before. But if you're just measuring the last touch point, then basically you go, okay, so our SEO is working, right? But it's something that you are doing with your content before they have the intent. Your content is creating the intent, or like our advertising are working well, and like okay, but we have been writing content and publishing for like 3 years, and now you come in and say okay, advertising is working. It's working based on this and this, and if you are just focusing on the last touch point, then you won't get the whole picture. As it will happen if you focus on the first touch point. It's basically the same.
And somehow, when they're usually one mistake leads to another, because we see that all the time. If they're probably too focused on lead generation and lead generation only, I'm pretty sure in 95% of the cases, their content on their blog, if they have it, will be completely written boring technical style for the search engines. Usually it's like completely like that, like rarely you can find interesting content made for the end users in mind and combined with old school lead generation. Usually mistakes go together with another mistake. So we are trying to solve that problem. And when you have like all these like low quality leads in your pipeline, just to be able to measure it, churn rate will be.
Yeah. So what would you suggest? Like if a company has a lot of visits on the website, has let's say significant number of trials, but the conversion of those
They don't convert well.
Yeah. So what would you first analyze, and what would be the solution?
I don't know. I will believe me, and some companies are still missing that. I will first try to talk to their customers actually to see what's going on. If I'm not able to do that, probably I will. My first address will be people from customer success. So because they're talking with customers and they know things, and I would love to see how they're addressed to their customers on the trial. Do they call them? Do they send some emails? Are these like emails incorporated in nice sequences or stuff like that? Because companies are usually missing that a lot. We are seeing that all the time. From my point of view, it's still you have like people on trial. So people are trusted with their time, their contacts, and everything. So you already have them somehow, and they're like mixed. Probably people from like really high buying intent, lower, medium, somewhere in between. So what to do next? Try to be as personal as you can. Go with I don't know, completely defined email sequences, how to approach them in which stages of their trial program. At first, go with like personal, like really personal notes from CEO for start, where you can say them, like from personal email address with personal touches to say them few things in completely conversational manner. Say hello, thank you for acquiring our software, stuff like that. After that, go with
let me stop you. So it can be even a loom or drift video when
even better, even
they
better.
addresses
Even
the.
better because you can actually see and measure who is watching and how you will have like better numbers. So personal video done by CEO together with text and additional note, amazing, amazing. And after that you can go in similar manner with people from customer success and always, from my point of view, it's better to be proactive than reactive. Don't wait for problems to come up with for your trial users, so you can go and actually guide them through the process, again with video materials, text post and everything. And also you can set, from depending on software you're selling, you can set like some triggers if they are like do something or put I don't know what other task is preferred to be finished, and after they finish some task or some phase on in their trial, it will trigger and they will have another email from customer success, from marketing department, again very personal, and it will be different because for me as a trial user, I will feel a little bit, I don't know, as a part of the family. I will feel that they show me some respect, and it will be easier for me that one moment when my trial is over to convert to paid customer. And somehow many companies are just trying to, as similar as lead generation, trying to provide more and more and more low quality trial users with really low buying intent, and at the end it ends up with like really lower conversion rate from trial to paid user at the end.
So okay, we now analyze the email. We saw what's wrong, how we can improve it. What are some other stuff that we need to analyze? Let me add one thing in that like middle part when we are converting them from trial to the users. One more thing is also advertising or the newsletter. I mean, not the sequence for converting them to the users, but also like newsletter with blog posts that are more targeted towards I don't know, like a trusted source, a stats or something like that. I don't know. It can be a lot of things. All depends what your company is and who are your customers. Like I don't know, for health industry, there's a specific uh, relevant stats that we are using. For some others, it's something else. But use that. Get them to read it based on the stats, based on the trusted source, and then like use the article to guide them that you are the solution for the problem. So how can they use? They are already here using the tool.
Yeah.
So give them a little bit of context of how you are actually solving the problem, or how can they solve it using your tool. So, but to back to the analysis, if email sequences are okay, if emails are written good, if they're informal, like the tone of your customers and everything else, if you are doing those things okay in that way, and you are still not getting conversion, it means that probably the content that you are creating to get somebody to the website is turned into some other directions, right?
I agree, and really, there is like interesting stats, and there is like a lot of room for improvement. For example, I will read you some stats, and we will discuss it. Like, For example, nearly 40% of SaaS companies said they do not offer any free trials or freemium for their product or service. 30 days is the most common free trial period for them who offered. And I don't know, it's like really, and I have like two others even more interesting, and people usually completely miss that. I mean, I want to buy something, and we are in B2B industry, and probably you can expect like there are like many other people involved in that decision. So we need to see, we need to test things. It's like really complicated how you can go without something free, without demo, without trial. But more interesting is probably the fact that companies that do not ask for credit card info when signing up users for a free trial generate 2x as many paying customers in the end. And I think that's easy fix actually for companies, and they're don't using that.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I'm with you with that, and I'm always rooting for going into trials before going for sign up for demo.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like basically it's thinking transactional when you
Yes.
are doing that, and also like asking a credit card when you get them to sign up for a trial. It's thinking transactional, not actually thinking about the value. Because like, okay, if you want to go for a demo, like they need to sign up, and then you send them the video of your demo. That's total bullshit. I mean, you can just
I
post it
mean,
on the
total,
website.
like really total.
Or the other way, the better one is that if you have somebody from the company, from the sales, even if in the early stages is the founder that gets with you on the demo call, they listen to you, and then they just like show you specific parts of the presentation. That's a good thing. You know, not everything is bad. That's a good thing, and that's a good way for doing it. Like our friend Yag was explaining how his CEO is doing it, so that's great. But a lot of people won't ever like listen to the customers on the call. They will jump in right away to showing the presentation, showing the demo, and just transactional way of thinking. On the other hand, from the customer's perspective, I mean, if I sign up for demo, that means I need another meeting, another call, another presentation. But if I sign up for trial, it means that I can solve my problem today. I can do
That's true.
something today, like in an hour. And you are helping me solve the problem. And if you help me solve the problem, I will buy the tool. That's it.
Immediately, like almost immediately.
Yeah, it's that simple. And I mean, if I don't know how is the tool, can I use it, can it solve my problem or anything, why would I give you my credit card? That's also like,
Not gonna happen. Be honest, not gonna happen. If I'm not sure is it working or not, can you solve my problem or probably it's not based around problem. Maybe it's offering me some new opportunity, new functionality. If I'm not sure it's working or not, you will not see my credit card details like never. True story.
yeah,
True story.
yeah, those are really interesting stuff. So to get back again, uh, what does it mean if we are having wrong people on the website? It means that we have the wrong content strategy, right? If we exclude
Yeah.
advertising or some other stuff, and we are working on a content to get people to the website, so we have traffic. But if those people aren't there to convert, or they are converting to trial, not going to the users, that's even worse thing. So it means that we are doing something wrong in that step, right?
Probably yes, because from that starting point, if I see like lower conversion rate from trial to paid user, I can be pretty sure when I move apart advertising and everything, I can be pretty sure that people who are visiting websites are not like primary targets. So I can be further sure that some topics on websites are not chosen well. So probably it's something around structures and topic clusters used on website to get that traffic. I mean, traffic exists, but it's wrong, not completely, but it's a little bit wrong type of traffic, because traffic was good. You will see different numbers in conversion rate from trial to paid users. So we see that problem almost all the time, and usually it's not such an easy fix. You will need some time to prepare like different topic clusters with the end users in mind, not only for the search engine, because it's more or less easy to prepare topics around, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 main clusters, to connect everything, to put like to find some additional subclusters, or to go a little bit wider with some general insight stuff like that, and to connect everything, and to expect search engines will start give us some traffic, and some part of that will sign for a trial, and some smaller part of that will become our paid customers. And it's almost same principle as for the lead generation. We are solving, as an old school company with old school marketer guys, we are solving that with more and more clusters, with more and more wrong traffic. It's the same as we are doing with bad leads in our lead generation funnel. So it's completely wrong. What you can do better? So try to, I don't know, think a little bit outside of the funnel for starts. Think about, I don't know, topic clusters, but crafted for end users in mind, for people who are actually came here to read something about that, to read second, third, fourth article, and to start changing their perception, and you will see their buying intent will be much higher. Maybe you will have less traffic from the start, but they will be completely different, because you start nurturing them as a leads, you start educating them, you start explaining them like everything they need to know, and probably their buying intent in the end will be much higher, and they will convert much better.
Yeah, and I think with inside what you just said is actually the reason why they went this way. It means that mm, now they somehow got the traffic, and if they have one article which is not inside that, which is turning into other direction, they will traffic will go a little bit downstream, and means that they aren't doing something right, but they are looking at the wrong metrics.
Yes,
So
that's true.
that's not the right metrics where they should go, and so there's a fear as well as with leads. They are measured by leads, usually like marketing people, and that's why there's a fear also. If they are trying to change something, if they are try to focus on the revenue and try to change, at least starting to change things inside the company, if like their somebody who is managing them are managing them and accounting them for specific quota of leads or revenue. Let's say that they change to revenue, then it's still up to us to change the mindset, because everybody around us are focused on leads, and it takes time to break down that fear and to see that what we are doing is actually working by doing it right in a different way. And that means going against everything that you have been taught of and that you believe. So yeah, those are interesting points.
And I don't know, it's interesting because now we're seeing like not everywhere, not everyone, but we can see many like old school sales guys who are suddenly revenue marketers or revenue something, and they're still chasing wrong metrics, and nothing actually changed. Just their positions. They're still chasing and measuring like completely wrong set of metrics. I'm really not sure when we'll stop, but I really hope soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is, and it is the situation. I mean, that's why we started this kind of weekly show
Yeah,
when you and I will talk about the things that we are seeing and some things which are done wrong or some things which are done good, which are done well. Um, and yeah, I mean, guys listening, if you have any questions, feel free to ask anytime. I mean, if you are watching via social media and not on the podcast, feel free to drop them in the comments. If not today, we'll answer next week. But yeah, Totsi, anything to say? I think we had a nice conversations and said a
yeah, it
lot.
was like really, really nice, and I don't know, I can really ask people to reach out to us like anytime during the week and suggest some interesting topics they want us to cover next week, and we will be ready. So if you are interested to, I don't know, to hear something special or to hear our insight about some interesting marketing, sales, customer success, revenue marketing topics, feel free to reach out like anytime.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for being with us this Thursday. It's I don't know. It's almost lunchtime here in Serbia. In the US, you are just starting your day. But you know, see you online. I mean, follow. I'm inviting you to follow Funky Marketing Podcast on every podcast streaming platform, on YouTube as well, and feel free to jump into the old episodes as well. We had some really great guests, and we are preparing for the new ones. This Funky Marketing show with Ivan and Nemanja, or with Todzi and Dili, as our nicknames are, will remain the one that we will have on Thursdays. And we will start having again episodes with guests, and we can jump into some other collaborations and other pillars of the podcasting. So if you have any suggestions or something that you think might be of value, feel free to reach out.
And whatever you do, don't take life too seriously. Don't overthink and stay funky.
Yeah, look, I need to finish with something I was watching. I was watching Shameless. I don't know, it's 12th season or 11th, something like that, the last one. And finally, like the Frank, who is the guy, alcoholic, drug addict, everything, but he has a huge family. Everybody hates him, and he ends up dying finally. But like when everybody is making fun of somebody in the street because it's happening on the outside, and everybody's happy, they are not even aware that he's dying. But the scene is like they're on the street making fun of some guy that has his car burning, expensive car, and like above them, Frank is going to heaven with his. He's sitting like this, making sure that he doesn't spill the beer, and he's saying like, "Whatever you do, guys, just live your life to the fullest."
That's good advice. That's good piece of advice.
Yeah. Okay, Totsi. It was a pleasure, guys. It was a
Same
pleasure.
here.
See you next Thursday.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.